Welcome to my podcast. So I'm so excited, especially to release it today. I release a new podcast every Wednesday, but today is super special because I am finally on iTunes. So I'm on all of the podcasts, Google Cast, like everywhere. And I'm super excited to share this podcast with you guys. It just really shares my story, who I am, the struggles, how and everything I've gone through in less than a year. And I'm really excited to share it with you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get started. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my first English speaking podcast. So I first wanted to start off my podcast doing it in Spanish because I just feel like much more like help that we need in that area because, there's a lot of lack of. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go be crazy at the first part of like even my personality and who I am within my culture, my Spanish culture. But having said that, I did also want to, like being Latin American, I was born in New York, and I grew up most of my life in California. And it's just, like I have a mixed culture. It's very interesting. So I'm Central American from Guatemala. My dad was from Guatemala. My mom, she's from Honduras. And I lived in Guatemala for a couple of years. And then coming here, and there's so much like Mexican American culture up in here. So I'm like a little hybrid of a little mixed, weird little animal, as I call myself. But today I just wanted to go on here, and my first English speaking podcast, I really wanted to focus on the newer stylist or the stylist trying to make a change. So as many of you guys know, I have a year in the industry, and I feel like I've learned so much in a year, and I've done so much of it too, that I wanted to be in a space where I could also share it with you guys, because I feel out of life, we can learn more from other people's mistakes. And when people are willing to share, hey, like I made this mistake, this is a way you can avoid it, it's so helpful. It has helped me within the industry to have educators admit, hey, I made this mistake, this is how you prevent it, this is how you would fix it. And it has been super helpful for me to learn the whys of things. So today I just wanted to really focus on my journey. And so for any newer stylist or any stylist trying to go on a different type of journey, this is the podcast for you. So right into school, probably like 3 months in, I started having really bad migraines. And I got a lot of people around me telling me that I should quit. Probably this wouldn't be the industry for me because of the chemicals and my headaches. And it was a really hard time for me. I was actually going to a neurologist. I couldn't find any medication that would work for me. It would make me groggy. And I just had to decide whether I was going to quit while I was in school or I was going to make this happen. And it was a really hard time in my life. I had just finished going through a legal case for workers' comp over harassment at a school. And I just didn't want to go, be in an office again. And I was just really wanted to follow my passion, creative side. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to give it a try. So I decided to go all in. And that's when I learned about really Instagram. And I started to research about hair and educators. And I started seeing a lot of branded educators, but I've always been like a pretty free type of minded person, and I wanted somebody who had kind of like experienced it all and just really gave her honest opinion. And one of my friends, Rachel, she's like, hey, this girl named this educator named Lisa Loves Balia, she's doing a class, you want to come? I was like, oh, well, let me see what she's about. And I started popping into Lisa's lives, and I'm like, oh my God, she's like full of this knowledge. And then one of her lives, when she was barely beginning, this is like almost like two and a half years ago, she shared her story. And I was like, oh my God, she's doing all this amazing work now. And she's sharing how like she didn't even know how to formulate her whole journey in between salons. And look at where she's at. I want to learn from her. The one thing that attracted me to her, she was direct to the point. So, like I've said a million times, I come from a business background, and in business, it's very matter of fact. And in business, you also learn, because I was in the insurance part of it, of course, I learned how to read policy contracts and the importance of reading the fine print. So by nature, when I do something, it's not just, oh, I'm going to do it. I research it. I look at the pros, at the cons. I look at different people like who are established, barely beginning. Like, it's just part of who I am. I always love to research. And so I took first class with Lisa. I remember I was painting, and at this time, maybe there was like 20 people in the class. So if you can imagine how huge she is now. I mean, that was super intimate. And that's when I met Isaac Formayer, to an amazing colorist and salon owner down in San Diego. And I remember I was painting, and I'm like, dude, Lisa, I can't do this. She's like, well, you just spend more than 30 seconds painting that section. And I was like, dude, I like her. And you know what? It's true. So I need to spend more time. And I remember she told me, what you see is what you get. I'm like, okay, what you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. And that has stuck with me since this day. And after her class, I just went on this journey of discovering color and hair and why things are. And, asking my teachers and being outside the box and researching for myself and trying shit out for myself too. And that was so important for me to grow. And I was like, okay, so then I started researching. I'm like, dude, I want to work for like someone who can inspire me. I want someone to the next level. Like, I want to work for like a superstar, like hairstylist. So where can I find that? I want somebody who's humble and nice, but, is not going to judge me. And let me go a little bit into that. So as part of who I am, I love dressing up, and that has been a curse and a blessing. A lot of people judge me by the way I look, and it has been really hard, especially trying to do bibbits in the beginning, because I dress like a little more like boho chic, you would say, California laid back style. I don't know. I just have my style. I love wearing my heels and looking all put together. I got judged like, you can't do bibbits. Like, this is not your realm, and why do you want to, do, and the blonding too, like I was so determined. I'm like, I need to learn how to blonde brunettes without having them be orange, so that was like my whole focus has been in hair color. It has been blonding brunettes. So anyways, I went on this whole realm, and I found Sadie. And Sadie J Creates, she's in Santa Rosa. She's a really well-established hairstylist, and I was able to assist under her, and I learned so much from her. And what I will always treasure from her is that she always respected my opinion. I loved Malibu seeds since the beginning, and I knew how to use it. I got, certified, and I just love playing around with things. I like to read the back of the directions to see the things I can do and what I am not allowed to do, which is so important. And then I just play around with it. And she always respected my opinion about, how to use the products. So I always will be very thankful for having that amazing opportunity to work under her. And I also was able to see that there was another world outside of just being a salon owner. There's another world just being a hairstylist. Like, there was this whole other level of, doing editorial and, being branded and, working with different companies and having can, be in magazines and, like the power of your voice and everything. And, how to, like, the videos, how she would do her videos and her pictures. And it was awesome, but I started getting like these opportunities to travel, and I kept having to say no, because that's the one thing about me. When I'm in something, I'm 150%. And I made the decision, and it was scary as hell. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to fuck up my career, but I'm going to do it. I left because I wanted to have the freedom to travel in and out and say yes spur of the moment. Sometimes opportunities, guys, will come 3 days notice, a week notice, or 2 weeks notice. And you have to be able to say yes. And the only way you can do that is with your freedom of scheduling or time. So I left, and that was the hardest decision I've ever made. But it was like the most beneficial for me. I was able to get, I was able to go to Vegas, to go for one of Lisa's class. I've been able to assist different stylists, and it's just been an amazing, and ultimately it opened up like this opportunity to meet, this amazing educator. And she helped me honestly, it's like to this day, I think she's probably why I got in with Malibu. But yes, I was able to travel and all these opportunities. And you guys, when you guys take education and take opportunities to do it, or you feel in your heart you totally should do it. Like I went to Behind the Chair, and that's where my final moment happened, where I got in with Malibu Sea. As an educator, the opportunity came up, and it's just things like that. I just really believe like in timing, and when something's meant for you, the time will be right. Don't force it. And I'll just share a little bit with you guys with my experience with Malibu. I put in my resume. That was in January, and things were happening and everything. I was going through all these changes, and the opportunity to become an educator happened at the perfect time in my life, and I'm so grateful that I never forced it. I'm so grateful that it's happened. That was one of my dreams, was to work for this company, because I believe in their product so much, and it changed my career. It has built my career and trust with my clients. That's why I love them so much. But anyways, I'm so passionate about them. But after that, after I left and I was like traveling all over, I got to meet different stylists and salon owners, and I made different friendships from different educators, and I got to see the non-glam life of this too. Everybody thinks it's a lot of fun, and it has like a little bit like not irked me, but I really want to make a focus in this podcast to let you guys know it's not all glams and shimmers and happy drinks. It's a lot of hard work that goes into this. Like when you go to an event, like you're talking to different people, you're finding out about new products, maybe you're doing research like I do, like if there will be main educators at the event, or they're showing how to do a haircut or technique from different educators from the industry that I look up to, I'll be there watching, so I'm doing that. And then you're going from event to event, and it's just a lot of work. And then when you become an educator, I've been so lucky to assist 4 different hairstylists, very well known. But the work that goes behind preparing for a class, cleaning up after a class, getting to the airport, back to the airport, like living in a hotel, it is so hard and it's so demanding. I mean, a lot of these educators are teaching classes with like 5 hours of sleep if they're lucky. Like they're working as soon as they land, they're working as soon as it takes off. I mean, it's really demanding career. And if they do it, I really, truly believe a lot of them do it out of the heart, because they are so passionate to help others. Because the glam life, you guys, this is a lot of hard work. And being a traveling educator, my respects for all of them. And, so after that, what did you do? 4 months after I began assisting, I rented a chair somewhere else, twice a week, and I was maybe seeing like one client a day, but it was good just to keep my practice and trying to see, like how to practice, because I wanted to do more hands-on practice. So I did that. Then after that, I started taking clients within, the salon where I was assisting, and, getting more hands-on, and I was able to be left alone and do things. I started doing a little bit of blonding, and then I left. And after that, I was just traveling and really focusing on like honing in my craft and really learning as much education as I could. It was really hard time for me. When you're out of school and you choose this path, the path I chose was really unconventional in the sense that I started getting outside education 3 months into cosmetology school. And a lot of people telling me that was a mistake, but I knew that was the right path for me. And I am so grateful, because I really feel like it has given me years of experience that I would have not had if I had not invested in my education as much as I've had. And it was very lonely, I'm not gonna lie. So you see all your friends, they're making like tons of money, they're making like thousands of dollars a month, they're having all this like nice purses and lavish lifestyle. Meanwhile, like you're working your butt off, and pretty much just making money for your education. I've talked about this on my post, and I don't do it to like be boastful or make people feel bad. It's just that when you want something, you will make the sacrifices needed for. I have 2 kids. I have a husband. We live in California. It's like super like expensive part of California that we live in, but it's just what I had to do. I don't spend a lot of money on my clothes right now. I really have managed my money to be able to travel and take the opportunities that have come up for me. And at the end of the day, only you have control of your life. Only you have control of your destiny. And if you're going to invest your money where you want to, and for me, it has been education, because there will never be any better investment in your life than investing in your own self. So then after that, I met Ricardo, and I've been able to assist him too, which I fucking love him. You guys know I love him. He's like my best friend. I love him so much. But, he has taught me a lot too, and I just feel so grateful. And, just with Instagram and everything changing. I have always said this and I will never stop saying it. Quit focusing on the number. So I actually went on live yesterday on my Instagram and I was sharing that I lost I think 15 followers, something like that, maybe more. I don't know, in a week, because I lowered my Instagram timing on there. So I went from doing 6 hours a day to just doing 3. It's almost 50% actually. Oops. But I gained 7 clients. That's beneficial for me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm doing something right. And at the end of the day, guys, it's a platform. It's a tool. And I just feel like we give it so much power sometimes. The power is within us. And we always have to remember to take back that power, and everything that we're capable to do, fulfill our dreams, it's within us. And I always believe, positive energy and what you put out in the universe is what you get back. So it's very try to focus on having a strong circle. But now I'm renting. I rent 3 days a week, and it's I'm super lucky. It's inexpensive, and I have my own color room, and they allow me the freedom to create. And they don't, they're always positive and cheering me on. Love to hear my ideas, and they respect me. And I feel so lucky to be at the salon here in Petaluma, California, which is where I live. I mean, my new things that's going to be happening is I'm actually getting trained next week. I'm going to start doing lashes. And the reason for that is because I don't want to lose my passion. What I've noticed a lot is that people get so booked out in advance or do so much work. They get burned out, doing 12, 10, 8-hour days. I'm sorry, and I'm not dishing nobody. I'm not. I'm just saying, for me personally, that's not the life I want to live. I chose this career because I wanted freedom to be with my family, to create, to be a creative and make money. And I do make money. I know it's like a broke little girl, but I don't. I just invest my money very wisely. And it's just what I want to do. So don't be scared of starting over. Don't be scared of doing something that people don't think it's popular. For me right now, that's not a popular thing. You shouldn't be doing 2 things at once. You should be only specializing in one. I'm also going to be starting to braid. I love styling hair, so I'm going to take a braiding class to learn how to do boxer braids and cornrows and different type of braids, and I'm super excited about that. So just always keep inspired, always try to do something new. And at the end of the day, this is your life. Our life is so much more than what we see on Instagram. Our life is what we make it. And at the end of the day, as much as I love what I do and I'm so passionate, it is a business. And as a business, we have to be responsible entrepreneurs. There's so much work that goes behind being a booth renter. And if I'm honest with you, I would have chosen to be a commission stylist. I have to run to the, store to buy my color, to buy supplies, wash my towels and dry them and put them away and clean up after, all the cleanup I have to do afterwards and during. And it's just so much work being a booth renter than it is when it was commission. When it was commission, I could use the brushes were already there in supply for me. The tools were in supply for me. Everything was clean, you had to clean up over myself, but it was minimal. I didn't have to worry about color supply. And I just missed that part. So my recommendation for you, if I could do it all over again, what would I do? I would start from 3 months out from doing outside education from school. I would learn to be an independent thinker early on and not give a shit what people think about you. Honestly, I would have gone to a commission salon. I would have. For me, it has been so hard. And I think that's part of the journey too, you guys. We all have different journeys. For me, I haven't really found yet, a salon for me, except for the one I'm at, which I'm super happy where I'm booth renting. I haven't found a commission salon for myself. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist, probably around here in my area, but I haven't found a commission salon that really fits my needs. If there would be a dream salon I would have the pleasure to work at, honestly, it'd probably be a Raider salon in San Diego. Sadly, it's 9 hours away from where I live, so we can't make that happen right now. But it's just so important. It's okay, you guys. It's okay if we're new. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay for people to point your finger or look at you weird. It's okay. But remember, you have a voice. And I always try to use my voice to be positive and to help others. And I try to use help my voice to empower all of you guys, including myself. I really do not like mean people. I will stand up for people, even if they don't want to, because I think so. Remember, always stay humble in life. Remember, we all begin somewhere. One day you didn't have all the skills you have now. You don't know everything. There's people that have 20, 30, 40 years of experience in the industry that still don't know how things work properly, or still don't know a technique. And there's people 30, 40 years in the industry that kick ass and have so much knowledge, and we can learn. And there are people like who are just our guests or clients, and we can learn from them too. So just always have an open mind. You can learn from anybody. I always say this. I learn so much from everybody around me. And that's why I'm so particular with who I keep around, really my close circle, because I want that positivity, because like what's that saying goes, misery loves company. So be very careful about, all that stuff, and just try to use it for a positive way. And to my new babies, like, don't worry, even my path may not be the right path for you, so just follow your instinct. I feel like your instincts is like the best thing we can ever follow, because only you know what's best for you. You know your personality. Be daring, be willing to risk it all, to lose it all, because if you want to be able to gain something, you have to be willing to do things that others won't do. And that's what I did, and it has worked out for me. And as I embark on this new journey, I'm really in the following year, I'm really focusing on the business side of hair, because it's just my business background. I love business, and I just really want to focus on growing myself, and not just for myself, but also helping others. So I'm also going to be having interns coming in and out with me, who want to become part of the beauty industry, which I'm super excited to have that little extra help of hands. I'm not going to lie, but most important, to really empower them and show them, like all sides of it. I mean, if I could take back, and one thing I would love to do, it's really help newer stylists, because it's so hard. It's so hard to choose the right way. And, like some stylists decide to go to like super cuts or great clips, and there is nothing wrong with that. I think they're probably stronger hair cutters than I am, because they have such a great, program there. And it just makes me sad, as people always put down like, well, this is the wrong way and this is the right way and this way. No, we all have our own way. So just be daring, be true to yourself, follow your path, follow your passion, and everything will come into play. Remember, to gain, you have to be willing to risk. I have sacrificed, like I have said, a lot of time away from my family. I've missed a couple of family funerals, which I know sounds horrible, but you have to be able to sacrifice. Nothing comes easy. So when you look at somebody, your next, the person next to you, fellow hairstylist, the salon in your area, or fellow educator, don't envy them. You don't know what people have gone through. You don't know what people have sacrificed to be where they're at. And a lot of people who are successful sacrifice a lot of time away from their family, have sacrificed a lot of time, tears, and years, off their lives to be where they're at. So just be respectful and mindful of everybody. Remember to stay kind. And I hope this was all helpful for you guys. And I'll be doing, if you guys want, more podcasts in English, and bringing also different people in the industry into this avenue, so they can go ahead and share their stories and their passion. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. If you have any questions, always feel free to DM me or email me on any of my social platforms at Celeste Stylist. If you wouldn't mind leaving me a review or a comment, I would greatly appreciate that. And feel free to share this with anybody that you think would benefit from it. Thank you so much. Until next time, I'll see you guys back here at Celeste Stylist.